From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the EntreLeadership podcast, where I take calls from leaders like you about what it takes to win at any stage of business and leadership. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host, with over 30 years of experience leading in the trenches right alongside you. If you're a small business person, I'm one of you. I've done about every stupid thing you can do. I've got a PhD in DUMB. And yet I've stumbled around and managed to grow a $300 million business. So thanks for hanging out with us. We're glad you're here. You can send us your questions if you want to participate in the program by going to EntreLeadership.com/ask, or you can just call me at 844-944-1070. We'll put you on the air here. We'll talk. 844-944-1070. Ryan is in Cedar Rapids. Hi, Ryan.
Thank you, Dave. I am the managing partner of a franchised restaurant. I've got 7 locations, and we've got a top-line revenue of about $8.6 million.
Good for you.
On pace to do about $9 million this year. So
very cool.
Doing things right, I guess.
Yeah, amen. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Question I have is, my current co-managing partner and I started buying out our primary partner back in start of 2023. And we have grown the business. After the end of 22, we were at just a little over 7 million. Obviously, we grew about 35% in 23 and on pace to grow another 3 to 5% this year. And so taking on 3 additional locations, more revenue, but we've kept the exact same salary. And just curious how we should approach the partner that I originally started with about, maybe a bump in pay and what's a fair salary.
Okay. So you and there's 3 of you that are partners, and 2 of you are buying out the other guy. Is that right?
That's correct. Yep.
And how much before he's bought out? How much do you like?
He owns 10% left of the company.
Yeah, and when will you be done paying him out?
In 27.
Okay. What's the 10%? What's the number? What's it cost to buy him out?
So we actually bought about 35%. So he'll still own 10% at the end of this. But at 1.2 million, we paid for basically 35% of the company.
What do you owe him today?
Today, I owe him, the 2 of us still owe him just about $800,000.
Okay. All right. And does he draw a salary, or he just gets his percentage of the profits?
He gets he still does a little back office book work where he gets a small salary. Mm-hmm. Just like 30,000, so it's not a big deal. Yeah. But he still, wakes up and he still likes to have his pulse on it, but is also in that retirement mode where he would probably like to step away as much as possible.
Okay. All right. And, well, if I were in your other partner, not the guy that's being bought out, but you, the 2 that are going to end up owning it, if I were in your all's shoes, I would take the lowest possible the salary, he's still getting percentage, so.
Yeah.
So what you're using your personal incomes to buy him out?
That's right, yeah.
And the profit that you get as well, okay.
Correct, yep.
Okay, and so what percentage, when it's all done, he's going to own 10 and you guys are going to own 45 each?
Correct, yep.
As a matter of fact, that's what you own now, but you're buying it. You owe him a debt against that.
Correct, exactly.
Okay.
So it's
all right. No, because I'm thinking through the math riddle a little bit, because normally what I would do is very simple. If you were 100% owner, I would tell you to take the least out of it you could take, so that you had the most profit to throw at the debt. But that doesn't work, because that profit he's getting 10% of, and so that screws up that math.
Correct.
I don't want to do that. Okay, so you guys do need to take the most out that you can take out in salary, and then use your profit that you get from your 45% and any of your salary that the two of you can scrape together and knock that 800 out sooner rather than later.
Right, and that's been our goal. Is we're trying to figure out
quicker than 27. As well. I want to do
Correct.
it, in like 25 or something. But anyway, All right. So, well, I think the agreement that's fair is for you and the other managing partner that own 45 each to be paid market rate for the job that you do. Your payment for being a partner is profit. Your payment for managing is manager's income.
Yep.
And so you guys are running how many restaurants?
7.
Okay. And the two of you run, what is your title?
So I'm managing partner. So I'm, me and my
What's the other guy's title?
Kind of managing. I own 1% more than him. So in technicality, I'm always going to be the guy that has 1% more.
So you got 46 and he has 44.
44. Yep. And so when I started this with the partner that we're buying out, I started this with him in 2013.
All right. But your title is managing partner, and the other guy's title is what?
He would basically be our director of operations.
Okay. So what does managing partner function as? CEO?
CEO. Yeah.
Okay. So what does a CEO of a 7-restaurant group make if you were to hire one?
Well, and that's, we've kind of mom and popped it for so long. David,
no, I mean, that's a comp study. That's not a big deal. You got to find some other restaurant groups that have, that have 5 or 10 restaurants, and what's their CEO make? Unless they're, what's the market rate to hire a CEO? Let's say you guys all stepped back and were absentee owners, and you hired a CEO to come in and do what you do, then you should make that. And you hired a COO, a chief operations officer, to do what your other guy does. He should be making that.
Sure.
That's market rate. And then the profit that is produced goes to the owners after market rate has been paid to the workers. And
Dave, that's where we as the two managing guys feel that we should be at. Our situation is
well, he doesn't have a choice. He's a minority owner. You're going to tell him what he's doing.
No, I know that. But it's like, it's not family, but it feels like family. He's one of my own.
Well, I'm going to be kind to him, but this is not an unfair thing. You're not taking advantage of him. You're saying the CEO of a 7-person restaurant group should make X, and here's a comp study that shows that. Here's 5 other people that do the same thing. Here's what the average, here's what they make, here's the range, here's the average, here's the median. And based on that, if we were hiring my replacement, this is what it would cost. And so that's what I'm going to make.
Okay.
And this is the COO, and this is what a COO of a 7-person restaurant group makes. And we've done a study on that. He's an operations guy, right? He's the chief operating officer. And that's a fair rate for an $8 million business. And it's established in fact. It's not something you just dreamed up and I think I'm worth more. That's not, it ain't got anything to do with that. It's got to do with, here's what the stinking job pays. And we, as the majority owners, are going to pay all of our employees market rate, and that includes me.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Okay.
I mean, you could be nice about how you explain it, but we're doing this, and it's not dishonoring to the guy who was at the party first with you.
Yeah.
If he thinks he's getting screwed by paying you market rate, he's got a problem.
Yeah. And I think, Dave, the only catch that we have is I feel he underpaid himself for the 9 years he was in the CEO position.
I didn't cause that.
No, I didn't either. Okay. But that was his decision, right?
I know. If I'm the owner, 100%, as I described earlier, I might underpay myself so that I can throw profits at this debt and clean it up. I might underpay myself in a startup mode just to get the stinking thing off the ground and get some retained earnings built. But we're making $9 million top line. We got 7 restaurants, and we're running a different kind of operation than we were when we shoestring this thing.
Right. Exactly.
It's a different deal. So I mean, I'm not dishonoring his past. He paid a price to get here, and by the way, he got $1 million for his share, $1.2 million, right? And he still owns 10% of a going concern that's doing really well. I mean, he's not, nobody screwed this guy. And you don't get to say, well, I never made any money, so you can't make any money. That's not logical. It's just what you do. It's what you did at that season of the business. This is what we're going to do this season of the business. And you're not doing anything wrong. Now, if you want to go in and pay yourself double because you're the owner and screw your other partners by taking a bunch of the profits, well, that would be unethical. And I tell you not to do that. But I'm saying market rate on a comp study. Because if you guys step back, that's what it would cost to run this business if you hired an outside COO. Or CEO or COO. That's the way this works. So, good question, Ryan. Sounds like you got a great thing going there. And you're a good man. You care about the guy. You care about taking care of him. And I want to be gentle with the conversation. But I'm just walking down the facts with you here on the air. This is the EntreLeadership Podcast. Here's a math refresher. There are only 24 hours in a day, so you and your team need to streamline time-consuming tasks to focus on the activities that make money. Smart businesses are realizing that to reduce headaches as they scale, they need NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one platform. With NetSuite, you can reduce IT costs because it's cloud-based. You can cut the cost of maintaining multiple systems because you've got one source of truth. It's a big deal. And you improve efficiency by bringing all your major business processes into one platform, saving time and cutting manual tasks and errors. So join the more than 37,000 smart companies like Ramsey Solutions that have done the math and are boosting their efficiency with NetSuite. And right now, you can download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to drive the right behaviors for your business. Absolutely free at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey to get your own KPI checklist. If I ask you what your profits and losses were this week, would you know? Hard truth is, if you don't stay on top of your numbers, your business is going to fail. The Bible says to be diligent to know the state of your flocks and herds. You cannot out-earn disorganization or the need to handle your finances. But you can use simple practices and wise decision-making to have a successful growing business. You don't even have to become a money expert to do it. The EntreLeader's Guide to Business Finances, we're going to teach you the profit principles and the key practices we used to grow Ramsey Solutions over the last 30 years. It's a free guide. That's a financial principle right there. It'll simplify the foundational components of managing your revs and your expenses, thereby your profits, and you can build your business and stand on some solid ground, right? Hey, go to EntreLeadership.com/finances. Download the free guide, the EntreLeader's Guide to Business Finances. EntreLeadership.com/finances. Devin is in Marion, Indiana. Hi, Devin. Welcome to the Entre Podcast.
Hi, Dave. Honored to be here. Thank you for having me. How are you today?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
So I am an owner of a small mobile truck repair company with 4 employees. We started in March of 2022 and have since grown to myself and 2 other technicians, generating approximately $1.2 million in total annual revenue.
Way to go, man.
Thank you. So essentially, after spending the last decade as a technician myself with clear guidelines to judge my productivity, I'm struggling to feel productive as I transition into more of a leadership role and developer of the business and spending less time with a wrench in my hands. So my question for you would be, what advice would you give to a person in my position, and what does this process look like as we continue to grow? Because it's difficult for me to feel productive as I step further into like a leadership role from a lifetime as a technician.
Well, I think the difference is you're going from working in the business to working on the business.
Right.
Michael Gerber talks about that in the famous book E-Myth. If you've not read that little book, you ought to pick it up and read it. E-Myth. Okay? And the whole concept is that you're moving from treadmill operator to Pathfinder. You're moving up the stages of business when you do this. Right now, too much of the revenue is produced by your hand on a wrench, and you're wanting to step away from that and actually own a business that, while you're on vacation, makes money.
Right.
And that's the beauty of business, is that you can move the production off to someone else. If the revenue is all on the one guy or gal, then you're definitely on that treadmill. If you get off the treadmill, it quits moving. And, you go on vacation, you're unemployed. You go in the hospital, you're unemployed, And so you're building a real business when you move from treadmill operator to Pathfinder, and that means that you've got to line up the delegation to these other guys. And so now you have a new job. Your new job is business owner and leader. What is the job description then of this business owner or leader? And if you fulfill that job description, you by definition would be productive. If you're turning a wrench and you're turning the wrench, you're by definition productive, okay? So if you're doing that, so I'm productive when I'm meeting with someone that causes things to happen in this company. That's leadership. I'm productive as a leader when I take problems and blockers out of the way of my folks so they can get their work done, serving the team by knocking down any obstacles that are in their way. My job is to make the path as smooth as possible and or give them the tools to smooth the road out, right? And so that's your job is to what? Handle marketing, handle customers, handle accounting to make sure that bills are paid and that revenue is collected and that money is set aside for new tools and truck purchases. But as you grow, you're going to need that. That's retained earnings. Your job is to manage the team and set the tone and the work ethic and follow up and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Spot checking, don't expect what you don't inspect. So if you're doing all of those things, if you're managing the accounting, you're managing getting new business in with marketing, you're managing the customers, which is the relationships, you're following up, making sure quality is there, you're setting the money aside for growth, and you're making sure the bills are paid and doing all the proper accounting methods and getting all that stuff, making sure someone's doing all that, then you are the orchestra director. You don't play an instrument, but you cause the whole stinking thing to happen.
Yeah, right.
And the thing about that is you remember that when you're directing the orchestra, your back is to the crowd.
Right.
You're facing the team.
Gotcha.
And so your job is serving that team and making sure that the drummer's drumming and the bugler's bugling and so forth, or however that works.
Yeah.
This metaphor is falling apart before my eyes, but yeah.
Yeah, I've got you. I guess my biggest concern is that I just would like to help to maintain the margins that have, allowed us to attract and retain the top talent that has gotten us to where we are. And I'm worried that by spending less time directly generating revenue, doing the work hands-on, that, those margins might slip and we may not be able to continue to
well, were you paying yourself when you were doing that?
Yes.
If you were paying yourself, and you're paying someone else what you were paying them, as long as they're productive, your margins won't slip mathematically. The only way your margins would slip is if you actually didn't have the margin because you weren't paying yourself and you thought that was margin, and that happens a lot at the treadmill stage, and it doesn't sound like you were doing that, or you're worried that productivity is going to slip. And that is your job, is to make sure it doesn't. And that's setting culture in place. And, what is it? At Ramsey, we talk a lot about what it means to be a we. We at Ramsey do this. And if you want to be a we, you're going to do that. If you don't want to do that, that's okay. But this is what we do.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We take care of the customer. We smile. We are kind. We stand on principle. We fight for the little guy. That's who we are. We work our butts off, and when we leave at 5 o'clock and go home, and turn off our computer. We don't overwork people. This is who we are. If you want to be a we, that's how you do it. In your case, you're saying, hey, we take care of the customer. We go in there. We don't leave a greasy mess on their car. It's clean when you leave. And a clear explanation to the customer is given of what the work that was done, what they were charged for, and exactly why they were charged. There's no confusion. High levels of communication, high levels of quality, speed. We do it fast. We're on site when we say we're going to be on site. That's what we do. And if you have someone that doesn't do that, then they can't be a we.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I think you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so the way you maintain those margins is high customer relations and high productivity, meaning that the guys who are supposed to be working are actually freaking working. That's it. I mean, it's not any harder than that. You're not laying under a tree in the parking lot while you're supposed to be over there working on that lady's car. I mean, and then go home. How was your day? Oh, it was really rough. I had to take 2 naps. No, that'll get your butt fired right there. And so that's how, but that's the stuff you got to watch, and that's where your productivity will go and your margins will go. And you'll have pissed off customers and you'll lose them too, because they don't like it when the guy that you sent out there to work doesn't work. That's how the consumer is. We think that they ought to do like what they're supposed to do. Hey, man, sounds like a cool business. I like what you're doing, and you are doing the right thing to move up that next step from treadmill to Pathfinder. Very, very well done. I'm proud of you. Keep it up, Devin. Call me anytime, man. Love to participate in your success. I'm proud for you. This is the EntreLeadership Podcast. Welcome back. Shelly from Dallas has a video submission of a question.
Shelly's at Maripa. My business is called JC Burger Bar, and we're actually here from Dallas. We have about 12 team members, and right now we're at 700. For last year, we were 700,000. How do we put our personal mission, which is to grow God's kingdom, into making sure that it doesn't offend anyone in a way? I don't know how to put our personal faith into our business. I feel like we always have a lot of red tape, and I don't know how that could be communicated and not as being canceled. And I know he does it, but I don't know. He does it so well.
Bless your heart. Thank you. Well, I think the key for most people, number one, if you walk around and you breathe, some moron's going to be offended. So just, count on that. Just by walking around and breathing. So you don't have to enter politics or religion to piss people off. You can do it without that. So if you throw that in there, you can really get them going. But so just accept the fact that what I did is I accept the fact I'm going to be me. And I'm still legally, morally, and culturally allowed to be me. Then, as a customer or a person in the marketplace, a vendor, you have the right to not do business with me because you don't like who I am. You have that right. And some people choose that. I'd never do business with that Dave Ramsey. He gets the Bible out. Okay, you can, because I'm going to get it out. That's part of it. And I get it. I'm sorry. I wish you wouldn't. I wish you wouldn't be that way, but apparently your mama didn't raise you right. So, there we go. And so I'm going to be me. Now, and I'm a person of faith, and I can talk about the fact that I'm a person of faith, and I can do that without making you do anything. Now, if you're an immature person and you want to be offended by the fact that I have a personal faith in Jesus, and if you want to be mad about that, then that's not my problem. That's your problem. And where people mess up on this is they feel like that they have to go tell other people what to do. And so what we have not done here is we've not said, you're required to be a person of faith, or we won't help you with your business, or we won't help you with your money. No, we'll help you. We'll help anybody. We love everybody. We're not mad about it. But you don't get to tell me who I am, and I'm not going to tell you who you are. Now, if you ask me about my faith, I'll tell you about it. Or if you ask me about becoming a person of faith, I can tell you about that with great joy. I would be happy to do that. But I'm not going to, I don't get on the air and say, you must do this. I just say who I am. And so you're running a burger joint with, 12 team members and 700K? That's awesome. And you go to the 12 team members and to the customers, you just go, the people that own that over there are people of faith. They're people of the book. And that's who they are. And that's okay. And to me, that's like going, that Taiwanese family over there owns great Thai food restaurant. Well, that's no shock, right? That's cool. I'm not going to be mad at them about that. I'm not a racist nut. And I don't get to tell them to not be Taiwanese. I don't get to tell them that. That's their choice. They get to do that. Well, when their choice, they were born there. But I mean, but you see my point. I mean, or if a Jewish family owns this, or a Muslim family owns that, that's fine. And they loudly state that that's who they are. That's fine. Then if I want to be angry at their religion or at their choice of faith and choose not to do business with them because of that, that's my problem, not theirs. And so that's where cancel culture falls really short, is it's so hypocritical that it's intolerant in its attempt at tolerance. It's so bass-backwards, and it's just that. So yeah, my suggestion, you're asking me how to integrate faith into the workplace, is be who you are and don't try to make anybody else be something that they're not. You present who you are, and if that is appealing to someone, they'll ask you about your faith, and then you can talk to them about it. But I don't have to preach sermons at all my customers and tell them, no, they're going to hell, or all my employees for that matter. I'm just going to live my deal, and that's either okay with you or it's not, and I can't control that part because I'm not going to stop being me to make you happy, which is what a lot of corporate America has done. They're trying to make everybody happy, and when you try to make the masses happy, you'll find that the M is silent. So it's a problem. And you just can't do it. And so better be who you is, and be kind and gentle and loving and direct and tell the truth, and be strong and smart and valuable and all of those things. And that's a good witness to your faith then. And but the idea that you get up in somebody else's face with your finger or start hitting them over the head with your Bible, well, that's highly unappealing. It's ineffective as a method of spreading your faith, but it's also unappealing, and that will get people upset instantly. So I don't tell you what you have to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And that's the big difference. I think that's how we've, I don't say gotten away with, because we didn't get away with it. But I mean, it's how we've done it. And it's pretty apparent to all of our vendors, customers, and team members who we are. They all know it. And then they get to choose. And I'm not making any decisions based on the fear that somebody might not like me. That one went away a long time ago. So you just be who you are. And that's going to be appealing to some and unappealing to others, and life goes on. The worst thing you can do is try to be everything to everybody, and that absolutely does not work. It's a cool question. Thank you for bringing that to us on video. We appreciate it. This is the EntreLeadership Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're glad you're here. If you like what you're hearing, help us spread the word. Share the show. Send a link to the show. Click the share button. Click the like button. Click the subscribe or follow button. All of those things help spread the word on this. We appreciate it. You're our only marketing plan, so if you don't tell people about us, we're probably going to go away, which probably means we should. So please spread the word. Look, those 5-star reviews, they're nice too. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. And if you don't like the show, just go listen to something else. But you don't have to leave a negative review. That's dumb. Well, I guess you could, but it's dumb. Spend your energy doing something good. Jake's with us. Jake is in Pittsburgh. Hi, Jake. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure, man. What's up?
So I'm a receptionist at a family-owned collision repair business, so we fix cars here. We have about 10 employees and do about $2 million revenue. So my question is, how can I better manage our customer expectations? We turn down a lot of walk-in customers, and we have many customers who are also frustrated and don't want to wait for appointments.
Okay. So they call you on the phone. You're the receptionist.
Right.
And they say, my car is dinged up. I want to come and get an estimate for it to be repaired.
Right.
And you tell them what?
So I tell them we generally schedule about 2 weeks out just to look at their car, and then I let them know about 6 weeks till we actually bring in their cars for repairs.
Why are you so backed up?
Unfortunately, I guess word of mouth just got the better of us. We've been open for 60 years now, so we have a lot of great customers, a lot of word of mouth, and, we really don't want to get any bigger as a business, so we're not hiring any more people to fix cars at the moment. So we've grown as big as we're going to on that end. So I'm just trying to figure out a way to manage people on the end from, not getting upset with us when I tell them, I want to be upfront with people and tell them,
if you told me that, I'd go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting 2 weeks for you to look at my car and 6 weeks for you to start working on it. It's broken.
Yeah.
I was in a car wreck. It needs to be repaired. Yeah. Some of these people don't have, I mean, their rental car is not going to last that long.
It's true. Yeah.
I think you have a business problem. I don't think you have an expectations problem.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, in our industry, they'll call around to other shops too, and they're just as long as we are, unfortunately.
No, I put a car in the other day and had it repaired. I didn't go through any of that. And it wasn't because it was Dave Ramsey. I mean, my wife dinged up the Mercedes. We put it in, and they had to put a fender on it and paint it. And I didn't wait 2 weeks for somebody to look at it, nor did I wait 6 weeks for them to start the work. Not even close.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's right. But I could be wrong. I mean, I wasn't my personal experience anyway, and nor would I. Here's the problem you got. Number one, I think you just got to tell them the truth. If this is what y'all are going to do, it's what you're going to do, and you just tell them the truth. You just say, it's 2 weeks. Well, that's not okay. I know, but it's all I can do. I'm sorry. That's what our owners and our staffing right now dictates that we cannot get to you for 2 weeks. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I have to go somewhere else. I completely understand, but I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You can't change the number if it's not changeable.
No, I can. Right. And the staff hours are fixed, right? It's a service business, so there's only so many hours you can do. But it's just like, you hear the same complaint, I guess, over and over again, and the anger, and I get the anger from customers. I think
I'm not angry. Too. I'm not angry. I'm just not going to come.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wouldn't wait that long.
Yeah.
They get angry. You're saying it's going to be 2 weeks and they yell at you?
Well, no, like let's say, sometimes they'll yell at me on the phone. They'll say that's ridiculous. I'm going to go somewhere else. I just say like you said, being honest. I'm very sorry.
I'm very sorry, and I completely understand.
Yeah.
And but that doesn't change the fact that I don't have a team to get to you right now. So. But I mean, if my heating and air goes out and I call a guy and he says, it's going to be 3 weeks before I fix your air conditioner, I'm like, I don't think you're coming.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I think I want my air conditioner fixed.
Oh, right. I agree.
So I mean, that's the thing. That's what you're facing. But I guess you're facing this number. Okay. Then I think you just have a standard process that you use, and you say, it's going to be 2 weeks. It's going to be 6 weeks, and they say that won't work for me. I say, I understand. I'm sorry. Here's some other companies you could try. Maybe they can help you sooner. But we're here, and we'd love to help you. But that's the only way we can do it. And as long as they're nice, you just walk them through that. I don't let our folks that take phone calls here at Ramsey get abused. The customer's always right. No, they're not. Sometimes the customer's a butthole.
Yeah.
Right?
And I guess Yeah, sure.
And you're not going to call here and yell at somebody on our phone.
Yeah.
I mean, why? Use your money somewhere else for counseling. You got issues.
Right.
So I would not ask you as the front. If I told you this is the deal, I own this business, it's 2 weeks before we can look at it, it's 6 weeks before we can start. I'm not changing that, and you have to sit there and get yelled at all day. I'm not going to tell you to do that. I would tell you to say, be nice and say, okay, sir, I'm sorry, but we're not going to be able to continue this conversation, and just hang up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have somebody cussing me and screaming at me on the phone all day long.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's sometimes what happens, you know. Yeah.
I would just terminate the call. It's real simple. You just push the end button, it's over.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And then they're just mad because you hung up on them, but they're already mad and they already got other issues. Anybody that screams at the person answering the phone has issues.
Yes.
And lots of people in our culture do. And so, you don't get to be I don't want that guy as a customer anyway. Do you?
No.
Okay.
No.
So just terminate the call. Sir, I'm sorry.
Right.
We don't have conversations like that here at blankety blank company name. And so if you want to call back and talk reasonable later, I'll be happy to talk to you. Those are our guidelines. And just hang up.
Yeah.
That's what I would tell you to do if you work for me. And I tell folks here all the time, if people call up and then they call repeatedly and their problems, I just tell them, say, listen, you're fired as a customer. We can't help you. You'll have to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
We're not putting up with this. And so, yeah, that's the angle on it. But here's the problem, Jake, from a business perspective. And I was talking with one of my buddies the other day who owns a huge business, and I realized that in the conversation that our whole culture has become less and less willing to wait.
Right.
Less and less patient. And I'm going to blame it on the smartphone. Because I can pick up
the Amazon effect here.
It is. I can pick up this stinking magic wand in my hand, and I can have donuts or pizza or cold beer or anything I want, and I can have the answer to any question, and I can check and see if lightning struck near my house. And I can see, I don't have to look at a commercial on the Weather Channel. I can see what the weather is instantly. And oh, by the way, I can check the thermostat on my personal home on the smartphone. And all this is instantaneous. I don't wait on anything anymore. I'm old. I'm 63, and I have become less and less patient. I refuse to stand in any lines anymore. And I just realized that about myself. And so that's the problem. You're trying to operate this business where you're asking people to wait in a culture where they have to wait for nothing.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
And, wait a minute, you want to deliver this in 6, like if you called somebody up or even if you got on their website and you're going to order it and it comes up on the shipping and it says whatever it is, you're going to buy a thingy, a widget, right? And it comes up and says, we're going to ship it to you. It'll be there in 6 weeks. You'd be going, what? Nobody waits 6 weeks to ship anything. I'll find somebody to ship it tomorrow. And you drop the order out, right? You don't even finish the order, and you go to a different site and you try to find somebody that'll ship it sooner. Because nobody waits on anything anymore in our world, including me. And I come up to a stinking restaurant without a reservation, and there's people lined up. I'm like, yep, next, I'm getting back. No, I'm leaving. I'm not going to sit here for 45 minutes to eat Mexican food. Come on. That's ridiculous. Like there's not any other Mexican restaurants around. One on every freaking corner. It's Nashville. There's a Mexican restaurant on one corner, a Baptist church on the other corner. Every corner. So it's not hard. I'm not waiting in line because I'm impatient, old fart. I got reservations or I'm not going anymore. And the whole culture is, we were laughing about this. We are all impatient more than we used to be, and I do think it's because of the speed of delivery of things, and you guys are trying to run a very slow business in that culture. It's going to be hard for y'all. Be hard for you, Jake. I know you can't control it. You're just the receptionist, but if I were in your shoes, I would just be kind, tell them the facts, and if you're getting cussed at or yelled at, just hang up. That would be my advice to you as a receptionist, and that's where we would go from there. So, hey guys, great show today. Remember, better a weary warrior than a quivering critic. This world needs more high-quality leaders, so take courage and lead. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thanks for listening to the EntreLeadership Podcast.